just watch. So welcome, guys. Happy Monday. We usually don't do these on Mondays, but you know what? We're going to switch it up because it's always great to switch things up and keep everyone on their toes. So I really, really appreciate you guys popping on today. Quick reminder, rockuniversity.com, rockuniversity.com. You can go down there, see the training schedule. Today, we are talking to Morgan and Josh with the Mojo team here in Scottsdale, Arizona. 11:30, we've got Molly Zahn on. She is phenomenal with social media. She works with a lot of agents and teams on running their social media platforms, creating content, a lot of good stuff. She's going to talk to us about AI and social media and what we need to look for that in 2024. And then we're jumping into December 7th with Debbie DeGroat. She's been on before, really awesome real estate coach, and she's going to talk to us about business planning and our success blueprint. And then we are ending the year on 12/13 with Brian Trachel. We've had him on as well last year, I believe it was. And this man is phenomenal with LinkedIn. I mean, he really, that's all he does, LinkedIn. He trains, educates on LinkedIn. It's one of the most underutilized platforms in our industry. I really want agents to dive deeper into that. The SEO power alone with LinkedIn, it's interesting because it's technically like, I would say the oldest social media platform, right? I'm doing quotes for that one. But they just celebrated 20 years this year. So a lot of SEO power. When you go and Google yourself, you will notice that a lot of times your LinkedIn profile will be in the top 3 and most often above your website. So you definitely want to stick around for that one and register for that prospecting. But I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's dive in today. Again, we are with Morgan Hodges and Josh Henson. They are with the Mojo team here in Scottsdale, Arizona. A couple things about them. They've been named top 25 teams in Arizona by Phoenix Business Journal. Over $75 million so far in 2023. Did I get that right, guys? 75 mil?
That is correct.
That's a big number, right? Okay, so $1 billion sold lifetime. Okay, number 31, Phoenix Business Journal's book list. Ranked top 1% producers in the Valley and were awarded Realty One Group's highest achievement for the 6th consecutive year. I'm sure it's going to be 7 coming up. So cross our fingers for that one. But I'm super, super excited to talk with them because, you know, we talked a little bit about this in the beginning. They really just doubled down on video. And I really want to dive into that and see kind of where the change happened. Obviously, I think you guys kind of see where consumer attention is and all that good stuff. But, you know, seeing just the rapid growth of the video content you guys are producing, we just saw subscribers and views and all that stuff. But I want to ask you guys, how do you feel like video has changed the landscape in real estate for marketing and branding and all that?
Yeah, for sure. You know, thanks so much, first and foremost, Justin and Rock Title for having us here today. You know, it took us a little bit to arrange schedules and all that and illnesses, but we're powered through today. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We really want to go high level and deep and talk through this, but really just to start off answering your question, you know, how is video impacting real estate today, Justin? I've got to say, you know, video is the new photos. This was like a decade or 15 years ago in real estate where people were still listing real estate without pictures. And those of us who were taking photos and professional photos said, what are they thinking? How can they possibly list a home without photos? Video is now there. And it is such an important part of the sales process all along the way. I mean, honestly, in 2023, like real estate is video. If you can't be there to physically see it, touch it, and everything you do at a normal showing, you know, video is your next best thing. It is the next best friend. And so I really think if you're in real estate, you're going to be in video.
Yeah, it's funny, Justin, even thinking back to our listing presentations like 10 or 15 years ago, we would always bust out all the professional photography that we would do for our listings and then compare them to the garbage photos that some other listing agents would post. You know, they would take them with their iPhones or their cell phones, or, you know, even just, you know, you could tell it wasn't professional. And we win that listing every single time, hands down. And nowadays, a lot of times we'll go in and, talk about our video package that we'll do. We'll do a full, video walkthrough tour of the property, and then we'll do a lifestyle tour as well, where we'll actually discuss the property and what it's close to, the surrounding areas and whatnot. Obviously, we can't post that on the MLS, but we can post it on YouTube and social media and really push it out there. And that's something that a lot of our clients have really enjoyed. And Morgan's right. I mean, if you're not producing video as a listing agent or as a real estate agent, period, but especially as a listing agent, then you're already behind the times as it is.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think too, like when I'm doing coaching or training or, there's so much around it that I do on video. And to your point about your listing, like even changing your language and including those stats and why we invest in video, right? Because that's where the consumer attention is, and how we can drive more traffic to those listings with those video tours and all that good stuff. But when did you guys decide? Because it's always, I feel like, a light bulb stage of when it like goes off and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna go all in on video. What was it like for you guys? Because we've heard video for quite a few years now, and then I'm just curious about what was that light bulb moment?
I feel that light bulb moment, that moment has been a few times over the years. It actually probably goes back 15 years ago when we decided to film. Morgan and I got together, we went into a studio and we filmed hashed out like 10 videos, but we didn't do much with those videos at the time. We decided, hey, videos that going to be the next thing. We should get in on the video like ahead of time before anyone else does. And we started filming videos a long time ago, but we just didn't do much with them. We didn't necessarily post them or push them out on social media. Maybe we're either too busy or too lazy or just in our heads about how we looked on camera and whatnot. And so over the years, we've kind of softly rolled out videos here and there, but I would say really just in the last 3 months, we decided, okay, we're 100% in, and we're committed for the next 3 years. We're going to produce. We even came up with a producing schedule of every single week, how many videos we want to get out and whatnot. And we're going to do this for the next 3 years. And if it turns into something great, and if it doesn't, well, we committed, and at least we can be happy with the results, hopefully.
Yeah, I would say too, and that is, I think, the progression for a lot of people. And I think most people now understand that they need a video walkthrough on their listing, and they've done FaceTime showings and they've filmed a video and sent it to a client, especially here in Scottsdale and other areas. But and we had done other videos, but it really started, Justin, as we recorded some of our Zoom trainings, right? Because we'll do trainings with agents and much like this, and then post that, and then we do a few other videos, and we kind of had what I'd say fits and starts through the last 5 years, and we did put them out there on the channel, but it wasn't as much of a driving push, and that's always still a good thing, I think, for agents. Don't be totally bound and hold yourself back if you think, oh, well, I only shoot a video once a month or so. Anything is better than nothing, and you're better off starting somewhere and just putting it out there. And so many people kind of worry about, oh, what I look like or what do I say and all that stuff. And the reality is nobody cares. And if they do, great. Hopefully they stick around to watch your next video. And so video, especially today, if you're posting on YouTube or anywhere else, it really is, throwing a bucket of water into the ocean. There's so much content out there, and there's just so much, but you need to get it out there because it is already has become and will have even more so become a bigger and bigger thing going forward. And so even if it's small, start somewhere, start small.
Yeah, one other thing to add on there too, Justin, is that we realized that we've got a pretty big following on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot, but we really haven't had a big following on YouTube. And so we realized that as the years go on, if we grow our subscriber count and have this big giant following on YouTube, that's going to even be more helpful when it comes to walking into that listing presentation and sitting down with the owner of that property and opening up our YouTube channel and saying, hey, look, we have 10,000 subscribers. We have 20,000 subscribers. You know, we're going to be shoot your home just like we did all these other homes, posted on here. These are all potential buyers and sellers, hopefully looking here in Phoenix and Scottsdale. And this is something that we can offer that not a lot of other agents can offer. I mean, how many agents can walk in the door with 10,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers? So
yeah, and I'd like to just jump in and add one more thing on top of, what Josh said, is that when you look at, and we kind of looked at it and we've looked at it over the years, we're always tweaking, but when you look at all the various different social media platforms, Instagram is great, Facebook is great, and everything else. But for real estate agents, we truly believe nothing has the same kind of staying power as YouTube does. YouTube is searchable. People will go back to it. You can film a video and have years go by, and that video content can still be relative. It can show up high in the search rankings. If you do a community video, anything like that, that video has staying power, so much more so. If you put that same video on Instagram, it's now buried years and years into the feed, and someone might not be able to ever see it again. But on YouTube, you can really build content that is going to stick around.
Yeah, no, I think, the power behind YouTube, I mean, it's the second largest search engine in the world. And it's changing that mindset too, of realizing that it is a search engine. Because when I'm doing trainings or talking to agents, like, well, why are they going there to search for homes? And if you guys just look at my screen real quick, homes for sale right, and you can see where the top ones are. Scott right there, homes for sale in Scottsdale, right? It's also based on location, so it's Google's pulling in our location here. But people are coming here to search for more than just IDX feeds, right? They want to know about schools. They want to know about, the buying process, reasons why to move here, different things to do, activities, community videos, right? All those things that you're talking about that are that evergreen content that in 3 years, it's still relevant and on there. But people are definitely coming here to do those searches on there. How did you, question on the your subscribers and building that up? Because I remember a while back, right? It's always that first 100 that just seems impossible, and agents are always like, I don't know how to get more subscribers. How did you guys go from 0 to 423? Where did you find that getting those? Was it paid advertising or just asking everybody every opportunity had to subscribe to your channel?
Well, for the last 10 years, we went from 0 to about 125. So, but that, once again, we weren't super intentional about it. We were posting our video tours on there that we were doing of our listings. We were, posting a few other things on there, like we did a waste management open, best, tips for the Phoenix Open, little things like that. But we weren't super intentional about growing that subscriber count up until, like I said, 3 months ago. And then we said, look, we're going to grow the subscriber count by 40% every 4 weeks. And we've hit that number, exceeded that number, that percentage every single time, just because we've put in long form videos, short form, and we're trying kind of everything right now. We're still babies at this. We're still new. It's in its very beginning stages, but we're very determined to and committed to growing this. And we figure by growing it by 40% every 4 weeks, we're going to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of that year. So
yeah, and just to double down on that, I mean, that is our goal right there. You heard it here first. Is 10,000 subscribers in 12 months. It's super lofty, but that's what we're aiming for. And the biggest thing I'd say is how, Justin, is it really comes down to consistency. It's like anything you do, the more you do of it on a consistent basis, then the more you're going to get in return. And so, like Josh said, I've listened, because we also, consume a lot of content too. If you're a newer agent or wherever you sit, don't worry so much about the subscriber count. That is not as important because really, as in real estate, you could have one, if that one person that's watching your video wants to reach out and connect with you and shop for real estate, congratulations, you've just won yourself a client by shooting one video or a series of videos. So it's not necessarily the massive numbers we need or are looking for, but it does help, obviously, as you build and you grow. What we really want to make sure that we're producing is just great content that people that they want to watch, and we want to get out and inform people. And we'll talk a little more about that, I'm sure, but that's a big part of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's true. Like we get stuck on, and I think that's social media in general, right? How many likes we're getting, how many comments or engagement, which is all important, obviously, to work with that algorithm and all that stuff. But, the beautiful thing about all these platforms is they're free. Creating a video and having it advertised on TV or doing paid advertising costs money. And that's the consistency with these platforms is they're free. And what they do is they truly want to get your content in front of the correct audience. So that's very sophisticated in that algorithm. So when you post for the first time, or all of a sudden you get hundreds of views or 1,000 views on a video and you post for the first time, it's super awesome. But know that that's the algorithm pushing it out there to figure out who your audience is and get it into that your ideal target audience. And just a stat for everybody, you've probably heard me say this 400 times now, but a stat from NAR, 51, if you're ever just contemplating doing video content, right? NAR released a stat, 51% of home buyers choose YouTube as their #1 research platform, 51%. That is a stat. When I talk about changing language, when you're talking to home sellers, when you're talking to clients, this is the language of what we should be giving them so it connects the dots and they understand, one, that you care about where consumers are looking and all that stuff, but also you are with the modern times and you understand technology and you understand what's going to benefit them the most. So I think that's a huge thing when you're revamping your listing presentation or your value proposition and just the language that you're talking about. Throw in a few of those stats. It honestly, in the listing appointments that I go into or when I talk to agents, it literally changes their demeanor and just how they look at you. So keep that in mind. Since we're talking about home sellers, how does video benefit home sellers from your guys' perspective? And then maybe buyers?
I think it gives people buyers a perspective of the property that they can't get from photos. I mean, we all know that photographers and editors are very good at like making the home appear and look a certain way. And then once you see it in person, it's maybe different than what was showcased on the MLS. But through video, you can get a very realistic view of the property from the moment you step through the front door, as you walk around every corner and through every room. I think it makes for just a very, kind of almost like you're there experience where you just can't get that from photos.
Yeah, I would agree. And, also the same thing from a seller standpoint, you get to within voting and we wrap everything into video. I mean, drone video, drone, photography and all of that, but it's going to help you get where it sits and that. And even if you're a seller that says, okay, well, I have certain aspects of my property that I don't necessarily want to show, that's okay. We're in a disclosure business. People are going to see those aspects of your property no matter what, whether it's coming on a physical showing, if it happens to side a road. So you want that up out front and in person, beforehand a little bit anyway. So if they happen to see a drone shot and notice that it's, quote unquote, close to this or close to that, that's okay. In the same kind of light, because they're going to be aware of that at some point in time in the sales process anyway. And so video, yes, while it gives you a truer thing, it can, it shows your proximity to items, it gives you that feel of walking around, even though you might be in another state. And so all of these things are good things when we're looking at, a full disclosure kind of environment to where you want that buyer knowing everything there is to know about the property, making an educated decision. And that's a good thing for sellers too, because you don't want people just wasting your time if there's something there that they don't like.
Yeah, and we work with a lot of out-of-state buyers as well. So we'll go into properties and we'll videotape them with our cell phones, and we'll as we're walking through, we'll describe every aspect. Like oh, this is beautiful, or ooh, it looks like there's a roof leak right here. Maybe there's some other issue going on over here. But we're able to talk and videotape the entire property and then send it over to our clients because, like I said, they're out of state and they don't want to make a decision just based on photos. But by working through us and knowing us and liking us and trusting us, then they can feel comfortable with, okay, well, let me submit an offer. Let's lock it up, and then I'll fly in for the home inspection.
Yeah, seems to be very common, especially, I mean, the higher price point probably clients, but also just since the pandemic, right? Everything being pushed more towards that, which, you know, that
100%.
more perspective of them being there in person, which is why, you know, I was going to ask you guys kind of what you think about the future of video, but I think maybe the virtual reality or the VR, more immersive technology will continue to penetrate our industry and be able to offer clients more of that in-person feel, even though they're not physically there. What do you guys think about that in the future? Do you think that'll continue down that path?
Oh yeah. Oh, I could definitely see buyers being at home with their VR goggles on and
Right.
being able to walk through. I mean, you can do it right now with Matterport, but being able to have more of a unique experience, obviously, as technology gets better and better.
Yeah, and even to take off on that and launch maybe into a slightly different direction, Justin, I want everybody to think around, you know, video, the internet, social media, everything. It's the great equalizer. And we're moving more and more into a decentralized world where people want to get their news, they want to get their updates from individuals on Twitter, you know, kind of a source thing than not necessarily from Dan Rather at 5 o'clock. You know, so they're going to these social platforms. Well, this cuts across everything, including real estate. You know, people want to hear from those people with experience in that community that have kids that have attended those schools. They want to know what it's like from an individual who lives in the town they're considering. What are some of the things they like? And so that's where video, and that's where we're seeing some of these topics just really blow up in that, is because if you were considering right now a move to another state, I bet one of the first things you would do is go and start watching YouTube content around that city. What's there to do? What are the big employers? You know, there's so much. There's an endless level of content when people are seeking this information. And so it's around that I think we need to think around video going forward. Moving forward, gone are going to be the days where someone maybe calls you off a flyer, where they just look at a static photo of you with a few bullet points and they say, that looks like someone I want to work with. Now, if they see that flyer, they click on a QR code, it takes them to your YouTube channel, and then you have a series of videos talking around Scottsdale, around what to do, what the schools and everything else. And they get a chance to really get to know you, get to know your personality. They get to see that not only do you look like someone they would want to work with, man, they like the information they're getting, how you're presenting it, et cetera, et cetera. Now you have a real chance to, you know, snag a client and find people who are really ready, willing, and able to work with you, not just based on a photo and some information. So that's another way to think of video content. There's everybody out there. There's people out there right now that may like me, but they also might not like my personality. They might like someone else. And so when you're worried about, oh, should I shoot my own videos? Understand that everyone is different and everybody connects with people differently. And so those are the things. So you should never be afraid of putting yourself out there, especially when we're in a face-to-face client-facing business.
Yeah, I think it makes it a lot easier. And it humanizes it too. Just like you said, they can understand your personality. They meet you before they actually meet you. And it makes, I think, our job on the real estate side, I don't want to say easier, but a little bit better because now, you know, they kind of have been in your digital ecosystem per se. And if they watch one video and they're actually considering it, they're going to watch more. And then slowly they just get deeper into that rabbit hole. And just to jump back previously, right, that consistency is so huge to be able to have that growth. But I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about prospecting in video content. So we're ending the year, we're Q4, we're ramping up for 2024, if we can even believe it. and those revenue generating things of prospecting. Do you guys leverage video in your prospecting strategies, or how can an agent maybe leverage that in their prospecting?
Yeah, that's part of what we're doing right now by growing our channel and our watch time and our subscribers and everything else, is that we're hoping that this is part of our prospecting time right now that will yield results down the road. What we've heard from, we've done a lot of research on this from other agents that have been very successful with video, very consistent, and they've grown their channels. And on average, it takes about 8 months before they get their very first phone call from either a buyer or seller and say, they'll say, hey, I've watched all your videos, and when can you come over and list my property? Or I've watched all your videos and would love to go out and look at properties this weekend, or I'm coming to town and would love to look at some homes. And so we know that if we put in the time and the effort and the energy, that naturally our business will grow from it. That it will naturally, these videos are going to stay out there in the realm of the universe, and will lead to people hopefully picking up the phone and giving us a call and saying, hey, Josh Morgan, would love to work with you guys.
Yeah. And there's along those same lines, Justin, whether it's new clients or your existing or your sphere of influence, your SOI, people who maybe know you a little bit, don't necessarily know you're in real estate. There's so much opportunity to leverage that and leverage your knowledge to help attract new prospects to you and help, get yourself repeat customers from your SOI who maybe, you didn't get a chance to build as close of a relationship. And by doing things like, if you're putting together a market update once a month and putting that out there and also sending it to your sphere right there, you're getting in front of everyone. It's not just a static post. It's actually something they feel that they're interacting with, even though you may have filmed it and it took you an hour to put together and send out. Now the leverage effect, if you send that out to 100 people, and maybe not everyone's going to watch it in total, but everyone gets to kind of see it or watch some part of it. They understand, they see you're in the market, they see you're selling homes, they see you talking intelligently about the market, yada yada. All of these things are going to have a lot more staying power than just sending out a flyer or an email or anything like that. And that, I think, is the real leverage piece and that leverage key that can make a huge difference in your business.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think too, like the even when you're prospecting buyers, like we've been doing video walkthroughs in that case, or showings that way for a while now. But even introducing things like we talk about schools a lot, because it's a very important aspect of buyers: private schools versus public schools. What are the options here? What's available? What are they ranked by? Right? How close are you from this community to the airport, or all the different conveniences? Right? I always get the question of like, well, what's the topic or what content? And to your point, I always say it's unlimited. Literally, there's so much content that can be created and topics. Grocery stores, new attractions, there's so many different things going on constantly that email me if you struggle with that, because I will send you a list of 100 immediately.
Yeah,
it's
100% true. Just think of it maybe around this side. If there is a Facebook group, a meetup group, or any other online group, interest group, you can bet that there is, a demand for some topic, no matter what it could be. Now, not all of those may exactly connect to real estate, but there's so many that do. The festivals going on in your town, what time of year the market's hot. I mean, there's, like Justin said, there's so many new restaurants, existing restaurants, schools, things to do, which parks are best. I just pick a topic, put up a camera and start filming, and you'll find something.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Kimberly just asked if I could send that list. If you email me, justin@rocktitle.com, justin@roctitle.com, I will send you that list of 100 to get you started there. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't always have to be real estate related, right? You can always talk about, like, people are going to live here. This is their lifestyle. So you definitely want to add in some others, in addition to, like, obviously touring $40 million home in Paradise Valley. that is, everyone wants to watch that. There's not one person, it's that HGTV effect, right? But you absolutely can get listings out of that. But even creating series of, talking about those schools or the buying process, the selling process, or things you need to know before moving to Arizona or Las Vegas and vice versa.
Yeah.
Talking about prospecting a little bit more, I want to make sure we touch on listings. What do you guys think about, I've talked about CMA Day challenges and all that stuff, but doing more of a video CMA versus that traditional one. Have you guys done that? What are your thoughts on that?
We're really, I would say on that note, still working on putting that into place. I think it's a super powerful tool. And I know that if agents used it, they would strike up a lot more conversations and that with it. And there's some great videos on YouTube discussing just this and ways to film a 1-2 minute video to just grab the attention of your sphere of influence and get them kind of interested, and then inviting them to have a deeper conversation. And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, that's really all you're looking to do with that. And so some people get kind of bogged down with the idea, but again, it's another touch point, but it's a live, somewhat interactive touch point. And I think that's really the biggest key.
And Justin, I like the idea of, even if you don't want to shoot an entire CMA and 2 or 3 minute long video and send it over to your clients, I think just a quick 10-second video, 15-second video that's saying, hey, I just took a look at your home value, and man, you're going to be amazed at what it is. Give me a call when you get a minute. I'd love to share it with you. And then send that video to them, or something along those lines. Some sort of where you're kind of dangling the carrots just a little bit, getting them interested. And
simple and short.
What's that?
Keep it simple and short.
Keep it simple and short. Yeah, because once again, if you film a 2 or 3 minute long video and maybe you stutter, you mess up, and you're like, I don't know if I want to send this, or I've got to reshoot it. I think if you're newer at video, you're gonna get stuck in your head maybe with that. But if you just do a quick 10 to 30 second long video, just saying, hey, I just took a look at your home valuation and or what your home's worth, and you are going to be blown away. Give me a call when you get a chance, or something along those lines. Or, the market's been changing lately. I'm sure you want an update. I've taken a look at it. Or here's what Zillow says, and kind of flip your phone over, film your screen, and then send it to them,
Yeah. Yep. And
I've got my own thoughts,
Yeah, exactly. So very similar to in a masterclass that I was doing, a simple CMA. It does not need to be an RPR. It does not need to be thick, right? Our goal is to generate more conversations. And then when whoever raises their hand or is interested, you're going to dive deeper into that conversation, go into a full thing. But maybe it's like a screenshot of Zillow, or if you're doing a YouTube short and you're going to send them the link, you do the green screen option in that YouTube short and the Zillow screenshots behind them. And like you were saying, Josh, you could say, hey, I just wanted to update you. This is what Zillow's saying it is, or maybe these are what the 3 top internet evaluations are saying your home is worth. I have my opinion, but I'm curious about yours. And then if they respond or whatever, and they're more interested, we dive in deeper. But the whole goal is just create more of those conversations, at least from the prospecting side, especially when it comes to video.
Yeah, and I was watching another YouTuber that was saying, the whole goal with Instagram is to start conversations. So doing a video tour, for example, what you do is you'd shoot the property, kind of walk through, do it less, quickly in less than a minute, right? And you would just give a couple stats: 4 bedroom, 3 bath, home here in Scottsdale, single family home here in Scottsdale. And but you wouldn't put the price, because what you're hoping is that in the comments, people are like, how much? And then you can private message them and start a conversation, because obviously if someone's asking how much, they're probably, potentially in the market to buy a home, or maybe they know someone that's looking to buy one. So, but yes, going back to your conversations point, that's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, and I think too, we have to remind ourselves, social media was created to be social. That's how the algorithm works. So, in 2024, I empower everyone on the call to move away from the check a box theory, and don't just in the morning think, oh, I need to hurry up and post something because I want to check a box. be a little bit more intentional. We talked about intention in the beginning of the call. Be more intentional. If you can't post something intentional 5 days a week, then post something intentional 2 days a week, 3 days a week. Pick a number that you can actually execute on and go with that and stay consistent, because the agent that's posting 2-3 times a week consistently outbeats the agent that is burnt out because they've been posting every day for 4 weeks and then it doesn't happen again for 6 months. And now they're pushed way back.
Yeah, I think it's important to time block that time into your schedule every week too. And that's what we've been doing, and that's what's helped us quite a bit. We know that every Tuesday morning from 9 to noon, we're filming, basically. And so, I think that everybody, if they want to be committed to doing this, then yes, they've got to time block that time in. We know other people that they'll film content for the entire month in one day. They'll just time block the entire day and say, today's my day that I'm just gonna film. I'm gonna film a lot of content, and then this is my content for the next month, because I'm gonna be able to get 4 videos or 10 videos out of this entire day's worth of shooting videos. So that's not a bad way to do it either.
No, for sure. And do you feel it is it so? Just expand on it. That's what you guys do Tuesdays from 9 to noon. That's
what we do. That's what works for us. For everyone else, it's gonna be different. But
Sure.
we're pretty darn busy. It's hard to find any other day that actually would work for us. But that's been one that's worked out really well.
Yeah, I think just it goes back, like we said before, is really just the consistency and finding, like Josh said, time blocking that into your schedule, because in real estate, realtors, it's so easy to have a contract to write up or something else. And so if something's not really time blocked in your schedule, the video production is going to get kicked down quickly unless you really are intentional around, being committed to it.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's easy to wake up and say, oh, I don't really feel like shooting today. But if you already know, hey, Tuesday at 9 o'clock, like, we're doing it one way or another. So, whether you feel like it or not, you better drink a lot of coffee and get going, because, we're filming. So, and we do it in the morning just because we know in the afternoon, 2 things: either 1, other things can come up that maybe would postpone filming, or 2, we're just, you're more tired in the afternoon. It's a lot harder to be on your A game shooting really good content when you're not your best.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the time blocking is a game changer. I mean, it definitely has been for me, but a lot of agents who adopt that, which we should already be doing, but it's difficult, right? Because we get distracted and, again, have to be intentional. Maybe today's call is all about intention.
Right,
but
yeah.
I think that's time blocking, setting that time aside, and I do agree with the morning thing, right? As we have the most energy in the morning before we get bogged down. By the afternoon, we're kind of tired. So doing those most important things in the morning, whether it's filming or your prospecting or whatever that schedule is, right? Maybe you need to sit down before the end of the year and write out your time block schedule, what that looks like on a daily or a weekly basis for all things in your business, not just creating content or video content, but prospecting and all that good stuff. Georgia asked, and I think Dana had answered, every Tuesday from 9 to 12 is time block from filming.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday. And that covers for the week, or
that covers for the week.
Kind of different.
Mostly can.
Yeah.
I would say what I would tell people too is, especially in the beginning, plan on a little extra time. You may not get as much as, because there's always a little bit of a setup. There's, you want to try to be as prepared as possible, but no matter what, you might need a couple of takes to figure one that you really like. It may take you a little longer to kind of get set up and in the motions and all that. And it's like anything. I mean, the more you do it, the easier it becomes, the quicker you get at it and all of that. But, don't worry if it's taking a lot of extra time there in the beginning. And then at the same time, especially if you're newer and if it's just you, I would work on, filming those type of videos that don't require a whole lot of editing, where you can do kind of some minimal editing work. And the nice thing is, in today's day and age, you're not expected to have something that is totally polished, cutting edge and everything. I've watched people's videos in other cities where they're describing, maybe a top 10 reasons to move here or something like that, with almost no editing. And and I'm blown away, because they're really not that great a video, but it'll have 100,000 views on it. So you know, go figure.
Yeah. And it's interesting because I think too, like that. So one of my things on here is objections. And I know we talked a little bit briefly about that in the beginning, but we hold ourselves back or we think that we have to have some crazy editing and lights and super fancy stuff. And you just don't in the very beginning. And obviously there's agents who are succeeding at this just like that and, getting the views and all that good stuff without that. Sharon asked real quick, I want to make sure we get these questions. First, Georgia, new builds and existing resales. But you guys film on tons of different topics, right? I mean, not just new builds, resales. I mean, everything local in that Scottsdale market.
Correct. I think, yeah, exactly. We film a wide variety of topics, even remodel properties and everything else. But again, going back to, there's really no bad topic to film in. There's people in other states and in other areas where their entire channel focuses just around new construction. There's an agent down in Texas that's all they film is going into different model homes, and filming those homes and then putting them out there. And they've built a super successful business just in the last 3 years, simply new builds, only new construction. And so there's not as much new construction in Scottsdale in that versus other areas of the valley. If those other areas of the valley or in your area, there's a lot of new construction, I would definitely suggest get out there, film those communities, understand the floor plans, the models, and put it out there. Going back to another topic that I really think that's going to become a big thing now and moving forward is this concept around digital farming. For years in real estate, everybody talked about farming. Oh, you got to farm a neighborhood, you got to send flyers, maybe do pop buys, all that. I really think that's going away, but your digital farm, creating content around a certain neighborhood, a city, and then stacking videos on top of it where you do go deep, you give updates on what it's doing in the market. You do all the same things you're doing as a farming, but now you're doing it in video form, and really establishing yourself as the expert of that community, that neighborhood, that area. That's going to be a huge thing going forward. And you just imagine if you spent the same amount of time that you used to farming a neighborhood, but you now film videos around it, in a year or two, you're going to have an empire there that you just wouldn't have if you're just doing mailers and pop buys.
Yeah, and the difference with the mailers and the mailer is going to go right into the trash. 1 second in their hand, boom, into the trash can. The videos will be there for years and years and years to come. So they will pay dividends for many, many, many years. And the video content of those neighborhoods, it could be anything. It could be the restaurants around that neighborhood. It could be, best places to walk your dog, in the neighborhood, or the gyms, or best places to go hiking, right around. Like, so, I mean, you could just make yourself the neighborhood expert, or anytime a new property is listed, even if it's not your property, you could still, potentially talk around that property. Just letting people know, hey, there's 3 new listings in the neighborhood this month, and here's the pending sales, here's what's sold. Kind of give like a neighborhood report. There's lots of different things you can do with the digital farming, which we love. I think it's such a great concept.
Yeah, and there's a huge, I almost want them to change their mindset on how they view their online presence, right? I've been doing Q4, I do a lot of online presence and auditing and that kind of stuff. And it's really changing your mindset of how you see your digital ecosystem, right? Because we don't have, we hang a license with the brokerage and you may have an office in there, but we don't have a physical location per se, right? People are going to the internet. We consume the internet. That's how we find services and things like that for the most part. And so thinking of YouTube as one location, right? That's your storefront. That's one. Facebook is another. Your Google business profile is another. Your website's another. LinkedIn's another one, right? So think of those as your location. And just like you'd have a traditional or storefront, you have to make sure you are keeping it up to date, right? Posting and information's accurate and all that good stuff. And that goes hand in hand with that digital farm. So if someone's going to find you on one of these platforms, you obviously want to make sure you're consistent, you're active, you're engaging with them, you're replying to comments, all that kind of stuff that goes in with that.
Yeah, and you could either start today and kind of get ahead of most other agents. I mean, honestly, we're all kind of behind, even starting today, we're all kind of behind, right? But because there's other agents that have been doing it for a lot longer than we have. But I would say 95+% of real estate agents out there don't do enough video or don't, have enough content out there. And imagine just starting today and being able to build that content and get ahead of the curve because it's coming. I mean, this is where everyone's going. And so you can either build your digital footprint right now, starting, this week, or you can wait until you finally realize, oh, everybody else is doing it. And now I'm kind of the outdated agent because I don't have all this content out there. And now I'm scrambling to try and catch up. But it's really hard to catch up to everybody else who's been doing it for so much longer. So,
Yeah.
And like you said, Justin, just to even, think about it back in 2010, a mere 13 years ago or so, there were a lot of agents that didn't have a website at that point in time. In 2012 and 2013. And then it got to the point to where it was like, oh, well, you kind of have to have a website. But then we started moving past that in a way. But video, we can't even fully comprehend all of the ways that video is going to come. I think VR and VR goggles is a big thing. And wouldn't you rather, we might get to the point to where we're actually meeting people in a virtual space, and where, or definitely doing showings that way, to where our feed connects directly into their goggles and they say, look right. And there we are with the camera. I mean, you just don't know where technology is headed, but I can guarantee you video is going to be a part of it. And like Josh said, you'd rather start building, your house there, your storefront brick by brick, rather than scrambling in a few short years to try and catch up.
Yeah, and I think we've all been there, experiencing a situation where we missed the curve, right? We missed an opportunity. I mean, we can think when the internet boomed. I mean, there's opportunities there. Even like domain names, as crazy as that was. Artificial intelligence, AI that's coming out. Investing in companies like Facebook or Uber and things like that we kind of look back and we're like, man, if I would have just done that. Like, this is your I wish I would have done that moment with video, because it will, to your guys' point, will continue to build. And like Morgan said, we don't know everything of what video's capability is going to do or where it's going to lead us to, but we do know that it's a huge just potential of our future. And if we build out that base, we have those subscribers, we have those followers, we have all that content on that channel, whatever platform you're going to be using, you're already way ahead of the curve, and you're not that agent that's going to be struggling to try to keep up in that sense. So this is your reminder. Start today. Building out. I know we're at 2:20. I want to open it up for questions as well. Real quick, the QR codes. I just wrote a note down. When we're talking about digital farming and then a traditional mailer, or maybe you're creating a video, but you're going to turn that into a QR code and have a giant QR code on a physical folded letter or something in an envelope that you're going to drop off to a potential homeowner or a potential seller, right? You can take the digital space and put it in traditional methods, whether it's flyers or whatever that. And we know that we can easily scan that code there. So if you're thinking about prospecting expireds or for sell by owner, think about creating video content around that and then sharing that series maybe on a letter or something that you're hand delivering or dropping off, or mailing in a physical letter that has a stamp on it that they're actually going to open. Just some ideas there.
Yeah, exactly what Justin said. And that's what's so amazing. If you are going to be sending those flyers and everything, have that QR code that's going to take them directly, to a video of yourself explaining, maybe even giving a portion of your listing presentation. If you're going to do canceled and expireds and you're going to go as far as to send them a written mailer, make it easy on them to go and watch a little content about you and your services. This is the new power of video that we all should be leveraging more of, because I just think that's such a better level for that consumer too. If they can go and actually quasi interview you or listen to you, tell them about yourself, that's going to be way better than just reading it on a piece of paper that they may or may not see.
Definitely makes you stand out. You're different. I'm gonna let's open it up for questions. You guys have questions for the guys? This is the time. Take the opportunity. You can throw it in the chat box or unmute yourself. Real quick, Sharon asked, a 2-person filming, one talking and one filming, or using tripod? You guys are usually in the videos together, correct?
Yeah, we actually we went in so far that we hired a full-time videographer. So he meets with us every Tuesday, and then there's a couple other, there might be another random day or two throughout the week where we'll do some filming, but he films us and then edits everything. And like I said, Justin, we dove in 100%. So, but that being said, not everyone has the means to do that. And so, yes, a tripod's fine. A selfie stick is great. Don't come up with a million excuses of why not to film. Just come up with one reason, to film.
Yeah.
So, either one's a good option.
There's some great options. There's a great one on Amazon for about $30. That's a selfie stick and a tripod all in one, good, durable. I now take that with me everywhere. I know Josh does too. You can pop it up, you can film yourself, you can set it up in a parking lot, capture what's behind you. We suggest a, lapel mic, super inexpensive, but it just makes sure, your audio is going to be a little better. It's a very small price tag, just to put a couple things together. But yeah, whether you're filming on your webcam or that selfie nowadays, the cell phones and that are so powerful, and the editing and everything, you can do most everything just from like an iPhone or a Galaxy, where you've got that ability. So either and they're all good.
I saw someone posted any AI editing. I don't think we've really kind of dove into that yet. I've heard great things about it, and people are using it, and they can cut up a long form video that's maybe 10 minutes long, and cut it up into 10 1-minute shorts or whatever. So there's some great AI editing software out there. We're just not too familiar with it. Once again, we're still new at this. We love having this conversation with you, Justin, because maybe in 6 months we'll do another webinar and we'll see where we're at, as far as subscriber count at that point in time and what we've learned over the last 6 months. In fact, I would encourage everyone who's on here, if you want to follow us, subscribe to our channel there and kind of follow us on this journey, because we definitely plan to take it as far as we possibly can.
Definitely. So that just for everybody is Mojo Scottsdale, all one word. On YouTube, or you can put a space in. Usually find us pretty easy. And the nice thing with AI and even that, you can go on and get a lot. But one channel I think most people would really like is Big VU. So Big VU. Anyway, that is an app you can download on your phone, and helps with script writing, also teleprompter and everything else, which it will sit and scroll whether you're on your desktop or your phone. So you can plug in exactly what you want to say. And, back in the day when we first started and went into a studio, this is like 2012, when we first shot those videos, there was special software and computers and all that to even run like a teleprompter. They were all very expensive. Today, you literally can download a free app that you can plug in anything you want. It'll help you write the script. And then all you've got to do is film yourself, saying the words.
Yeah. There's been a couple. So I've done a training on with Steve.ai. I believe it's Steve.ai, where you can go in and create.
Yeah, that is it.
Yeah. So there's Steve.ai you can go to. The other one I really like is Opus Clip. So Opus Clip will go through and take a longer form video. See if I can find it. I think it's .pro or it's .pro.
Yeah, Opus.pro.
Yeah, this is awesome. So you got your long form video, maybe you're talking about reasons to move here or whatever it is, and it will clip 10 shorts or short form videos out of that and rank them by virality, which is kind of cool. And it automatically puts captions on there for you. So it's very, very cool. I don't know the pricing off the top of my head, but I've used this one. Let's see the pricing might be different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing. Sorry to jump in, but, guys, so when you are putting your videos in that out there, and Justin can go deep, but there's different videos for different times. You're going to have more long form content, maybe as you're describing what a community is like to live there, or different factors of the community. But then you're also going to maybe have shorts that can come from that too, which are the 3 things I like most about this community or whatever, where it's under a minute and it's just a quick clip. But all of those, you can film one video and from that one video take and have multiple shorts plus a long form. And again, that content, if you're filming stuff, it really stays and has staying power 6 months from now, 12 months from now. This, it's all good stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Any other questions for the guys? I love having these conversations, you guys. It's more of an open discussion because I think there's so much more gold in there, and just seeing how it goes and more content for the agents. But do you guys have any lasting advice to any agents who haven't pulled the trigger yet, or the light bulb maybe has gone off 3 times and the 4th light bulb, it's like, all right, maybe I should be doing, I keep hearing about this over and over again. And I just want to, commend you guys for, I remember probably last year, maybe you guys were still under 100, I think, maybe, or maybe the year before.
Probably, yeah.
It's pretty phenomenal to see your growth. And I'm telling you, every time I jump on the Instagram or one of those platforms, I see your guys' content, and it's just inspiring to see the growth there. So any lasting advice for anyone on the fence still?
I would say time block number 1, because if you don't time block, if it's not on your calendar, it's not going to happen. And then number 2, I would just use that time to figure out what you're going to film. And there's a million things you can film. Don't get into your head. I'd probably start with something that you're passionate about. So if you're someone who likes to work out, maybe, best gyms to work out at in Scottsdale or whatever. But I try and make it a little bit more real estate related. I think, obviously if you have a listing, that's a good place to start. Walk around, talk about how beautiful the kitchen is, all the upgrades, or, the master bathroom, stuff like that. But you just got to get it on your calendar otherwise it's never going to happen.
Yeah, and the thing I would say, and honestly, I'd encourage everybody to write this down, is progress over perfection. Just get out there, get putting content out there. You want to make progress, not get bogged down by if it's perfect. Do you look perfect? Did you say the word perfectly? And all those other things that get in our head. The progress is what's important. And, just putting that content out there, the perfection will come the more you do it. It's like anything. If you got on riding a bike for the first time, you're probably not going to go on the Tour de France the next day, but you can make progress each and every day. And that's what's important. That's what's so great about life. So progress over perfection. If your progress is saying, I'm filming a video this week, that's great. Do it, but don't overthink it. Just put something together and get started and do it. Even if you're doing just a little bit of it, it's better than none of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Progress and just being able to, even if you just start filming yourself and you don't actually post it, just you're getting in the motions of doing it, is just a start there, because we've all been there. You're going to criticize yourself. All those objections are going to jump in your head, but we are our biggest critics as humans. Nobody sees the flaws or the way we sound or the way we look or all those things that we see in ourselves. Nobody else is seeing that. So we just got to get past that stage and understand that we're providing value to consumers, right? We're educating the consumer buyers and the homeowners on something that we're very passionate about, right? You got to go back to your why. Why did you get in this business? Why do you wake up every day and go to work and get another step closer to your dreams? So any other questions, guys? Love this session. Awesome. How can, if an agent wants to reach out to you guys, get in touch, how can they do that? What's the best way?
They can either call us at 480-356-5657, or they could email us at info@mojoscottsdale.com.
Yep. Yeah, there. And like Josh said, I'd encourage everybody, go check out our channel. We'd love to have you subscribe and kind of follow along. Hopefully you get some great ideas for content from there. If you laugh at us, that's okay too. We try to be funny every once in a while, and all that good stuff. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you on the journey with us, and just start making some video. We really think that in the years going forward, it's going to be a bigger and bigger thing, and you're going to be really glad you got started.
Absolutely. All right, guys, go make sure to follow them. There, you can also find them on Instagram. They're on all the platforms, of course. And please, please, please remember to go and to rockuniversity.com. Take a look at that training schedule. Get registered for the 3 remaining 11:30, 12:07, 12:13. You don't want to miss those. And please, next contract you have, please consider writing in Rock Title on that contract. We would love to work with you and your clients, of course. So I appreciate Morgan and Josh. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today and share your knowledge. And I appreciate everyone joining. Have an amazing Thanksgiving. I won't see you guys before Thanksgiving, so have an amazing Thanksgiving, and hopefully it's a fun and restful one with you and your family. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys in escrow very soon.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks, Justin.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Justin.
it.
Thank you.